Tom wrote a book, and he wants you all to buy it. The name of the book is The Gin Chronicles Volume 1 Growth. It's part 1 of a trilogy. It's available on Amazon. Go read it.
Don't forget to subscribe for more reviews. Please also like. Thank you.
Hello there everyone, Tom here again, and today we have the privilege of taking a look at the purple potato from Lemon Tree. Now, you know me, typically I show the unboxing of this thing, of these things, and all the accessories and whatnot, but my box was severely damaged during shipping. So I was kind of happy that the thing came out the way that it did. This is not a fresh review. I have already transformed it a couple of times. There are some problem areas that I'll get into when we do transformation. There's some stuff I really just don't understand why they made the choices that they did. He has an eye that lights up, but unfortunately it doesn't light up without batteries, and it looks very, very dead without them. As far as accessories, this is the instruction sheet. This is it. It is not sufficient to actually transform it. You have to have some rather intuitive skills to be able to do it properly. He comes with these little things here. There's 2 of them, and they separate when you get them out of the packaging. They're already separated, so you just put them together and they go in the turbines. We'll set those off to the side. He does come with a stand that you just kind of build. This is a magnet that turns on and off the LED features, so that's something. And lastly, we get this thing here, which you have to kind of assemble. This is just a spring. It's literally just a spring. And he has a couple of parts here that I haven't been able to figure out exactly what to do with. He comes with 2 of these for his hands, so he gets laser hands. He comes with these things, and I haven't found a use for them yet. I'm sure there is one, but I haven't found it yet. And lastly, I don't know if y'all can see these or not, but he comes with these 2 little pieces here, and they're cut for something. And I thought maybe they were screw covers, but I can't find anything that they go in. So I don't know. He also has 2 little stick things, kind of like this, that come out of his hand, and it appears I have misplaced them. But that's not surprising because that seems to be another issue. So give me just a minute and we'll go through articulation. Alright, so I've gone ahead and attached his little cable here, his little spring thing. And one thing I want to do before I do anything else, that is compare him to Fans Toys Quake Wave. And as you can see, they're of a comparable height. So that ought to give you some general idea about what's going on with them. Alright. Now, the other thing I guess I need to do is, there he is in robot mode to their first offering, their Prime. And I have to tell you, this is a much better figure than that one. Okay. Let's go through articulation in a prompt and efficient manner. The head is on a ball joint. It can go up, all the way around, side to side. The arms are on a ratchet. You can actually see the ratchet right there. It goes all the way around. It does bump into this, but you can get around that. The arms can come up all the way like that, so that's a good thing. And it has this additional hinge which allows it to do what they call a butterfly. So he can go all the way in, and if I haven't tried it, but yes, he can salute, so there's that. Obviously you see the elbow, the elbow joint is double hinged and comes all the way up. Bicep rotation. The hands. These hands are... Can you all see those microscopic ball joints? These remind me a lot of the old KFC hands, and I'm wondering if there's a connection here. Conspiracy theories aside, I wonder, because these things are flimsy. They look so much like the KFC hands. Anyway, they open all the way. He doesn't have a weapon to hold, so there's nothing to worry about there. The waist does rotate all the way around. That's for transformation. Hip skirts in the front and in the back give you all the way forward, all the way back, and yes, he can indeed do the Chinese splits. Thigh rotation is built into the knee here. Well, how well you can see that, but that's the knee. That knee is die cast. You get very stiff, just shy of 90 because of the junk that's on the inside. The foot can ankle rock that far, in either direction. It can go up that far, back quite a bit. Alright, that's his articulation. I do like this detailing here. This is just a plug-on. There's just a little peg right there, and a little hole there for the hand or this. So tell you what, let's do some scale comparisons, and then we will transform this guy. So old purple potato here is measuring in at approximately 9 inches to the top of his head here, all the way to the top of the pauldrons. We're getting about 10.5 inches. Shoulder to shoulder, we're looking at about 5 inches. Depth wise, about 3. I showed you his articulation. He doesn't have a whole lot of color on him. I mean, there is a little breakup. This is gunmetal here, but all in all, he's just kind of plain. That's the way I'm looking at him. He's kind of plain. But that was kind of what they were going for. So, transforming him, I have to say, I watched 2 reviews on this before I tried it. Well, I tried it with the directions, and the directions were insufficient to complete the transformation. Yeah, let's say it like that. They were insufficient to complete the transformation. They were just too simplistic. There were some things that needed to be done that simply weren't covered in the picture directions that they gave us. So, yeah. Okay, we set this off to the side. It's not going to have really a place. And we're going to put our KFC hand back on here. There are certain ways that this has to be transformed. Like I said, I watched 2 reviews. I think it was Son of the Empire and Ben's Collectibles. And not knocking either one of them. But they seemed to make it seem like it was very complex, at least in a couple of general areas. And I didn't find it that way. So either I looked at it wrong, I didn't get what they were trying to say correctly, or user error. That's all I can say. So the first thing we're going to do here is the arm. So go ahead and pull it out, unconnect this right here. This will disconnect. This is a piece, y'all can't see. This is a piece right here that's going to disconnect. He says, come on. There we go, just like that. This will swing forward. The hand needs to be sort of in this configuration, and you need to pull it forward. And here's where we run into the first problem that I had. and that is these little bits right here. They go in this little channel. I don't know if you all can see it or not. It's right there, and because of the way that they're made, you kind of have to put them in like that. Now on the Son of the Empire video, we see him pulling them out. What I have discovered is if this is in here, I cannot put, I can't rotate the hand around to get it out. So again, there's always user error. I fully grant that, but that's problematic. Pull up this little flap right here. You have to push it all the way in when you put him into robot mode, so be mindful of that. That wasn't covered either, and that drove me nuts. That slips out like that, and that locks the hand into place, or the entirety of the arm into place. Now this is possible of going in at this point, which is fine. And you probably kind of want it in at this point, but not too far, just so that you can kind of get it out of the way. If you're not comfortable with that, you can always disassemble it and put it in later. So, let's see here. We pop this piece off. We okay. This comes up. Tell you what, I'll leave this one out until a little bit later so you all could see that process. This little flap here comes up, and this comes down and locks into place. And I will tell you, it will not lock into place. You won't get it right if you don't do it that way. Now, we have to open up this right here. You got to do it in a way that clears the arm. So this is how I have discovered to do it. Or get your arm this way. Pop that out like that. Let me raise up just a tinge here. Now this is connected in a couple of, move these out of the way so you can bring this all the way down. This is connected here with this mechanism you see right here, and it's also hooked underneath here. So you gotta lift this up a little bit so that you can swing it in and down, and it sits just like this. Now this is the second major problem that I have. These bits right here, hopefully you all can see them. This is die cast, and it's on a piece of plastic, and you can see how it's being chewed up. Now, this bar, again, it's nowhere covered in the instructions. This has to come down to sit flush right here. What I have done, because it was going nuts on me, it was way too tight, I grabbed some of this. I actually bought this stuff for Constructor. There was one of the Constructors, Scavenger I think, that was breaking because it was too tight on the joint. So this is silicone. I bought it. It doesn't harm plastic. Between these two, I have, I think, a total of 1 drop. So just enough to help lubricate it, because what you got to do is you got to swing this forward. I'll do my level best to see if I can get this on camera. You also don't have really good leverage. You got to swing this forward, and you got to rotate this until it goes down. Alright, so can you all see the difference here where it is? Getting it down is a little easier, I have discovered, than trying to get it back into robot mode. It is not enjoyable. That's the way I'll say it. It is not an enjoyable experience. I have discovered that if I kind of shove my, let's see here, if I kind of shove my spudger into the groove here, I can apply a little bit of downward force in the right place so that hopefully it'll do what I want it to do. And almost got it. There we go. Alright, and that one's down. Now, can you all see in there how it is just being eaten up. I'm not going to transform this thing very much. This has actually been purchased for me to have a ship when my Unicron comes in. Open this flap up. Now there's a particular way this joint has to go, and you're seeing it. It bends in and in, like this. Is that right? Yeah. So it sets like this in here. So again, open this up, if you can. Open that up. Bend this so that it goes in. I did it backwards. Huh. It goes in like this. And now these two here will combine with a series of clips and hooks. And this is rather intuitive. I mean, you don't need high stakes directions on how to do this. He says, as his isn't lining up properly. Oh boy, I can already tell. It's going to be one of those reviews, isn't it? So I was excited for this based on their Prime. Really liked their Prime. Strong figure. Let's see if I can... Nope, can't back out anymore. Gotta do it this way. Okay. So, pardon me while I adjust the camera here. Alright, so now we have it like this. These flaps go out. This flap right here underneath comes up. And this comes in. Again, this flap right here comes up. This flap comes in. And this all just locks together the way you expect it should, because it... What have I done wrong here? Shouldn't be anything wrong. That is another thing. This thing is quite finicky. If things don't line up just the way it wants, it is going to give you fits. Oh, durr. It's because this one's not down all the way. There we go. As I said, it will give you fits if you will allow it. And then this can just squeeze back in there, and that's basically the top part there. Come back here and unhook this. It hooks into right here with a series of hooks there. Open up your piece here, pop that up. The head will just slip into this cavity, pushed in all the way. You have a tab and a groove, which is never happy for me, but it will go in there. Okay, take this part right here and swing it down. Take this part right here and swing it down. Now, take this opportunity to turn your legs around. The legs gave me fits. I mean, just plain old, straight up, I was pulling my hair out, and I don't have any to begin with, fits. Pull this forward, and these will connect right in here. Hopefully you all can see that. these right here. And get them out of the way so that you can pull these back like this. Now, the correct configuration for the leg, it has to be like this. This bottom part has to go like this. Additionally, you open this up and just rotate this around so that it sits like this. Open this up, rotate it around until it sits like this. Okay. Now, come down to the feet, pull this open all the way. There's a notch for the rotator bit there. Circle this around, pull it up. Unhinge, circle around, and pull it up. And it is just locked on with a screw, so if you need to remove it, you can. This is connected right here. The entirety of the leg assembly is held together right here. So be mindful because these will break on you if you're not careful. So just open them up. Open the leg up all the way, kind of fillet it as much as you can. Open that up. Pull this piece here out. Okay. Now something else that the directions didn't really go into. This piece right here has to rotate. Okay, doesn't matter clockwise, counterclockwise, but the easiest way I've found to do it is to put a little pressure on it like that, and then this sets right here like this. Pull that flap down. Out of the box, that flap was already down, so just be mindful. That rotates like this. Now, trying your best to keep everything out of the way as much as you can. This rotates at this knee joint, making sure this is flush. Is that right? It comes around. Yes, that's correct. It comes around and it will go exactly where you want it to if you've got it right. If you don't have it right, this comes out. If you don't have it right, you will be fussing and cussing for a while. But you just saw I got it in there. So it can be done. It can be done. Open this up, pull this out. If it falls off the ball joint, that's fine. You can always put it back in. Bring this down and open it up, push that down. Remembering to rotate here at this joint, like that. Pull this in, rotate it until it sits in here the way it's supposed to, he says. Is that right? Or is it? Yeah, it's up here. Yeah, it sits up here. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, pull it straight, rotate it like this. Get this thing here out of the way as much as you possibly can. Lift that one down. This one comes out just a little bit, and then you collapse. Ooh. Collapse it together, and then it's just a matter of squeezing everything until it comes together. And it will. It's just not always happy about the prospect of it. This comes off more often than not. This part comes under and right there. Now we open this piece up that fell off. It's just on a ball joint. It's not that big of a deal. It just it's annoying because it fell off. Plugs in right here. Ah, get in there. There we go. Alright. This comes around, circles down, and then it's just a matter, as you can imagine, of hooking everything together tab-wise. Oh, Tommy boy. So I have to tell you, after this review, this thing is going to be transformed one more time. Unless I change my mind. I might just leave it and do final thoughts with it in this mode. I don't know. I don't know. Gonna have to think on that. Gonna have to think on that. Alright. Get in there. Squeeze yourself together. Yeah, see, it will do what you want it to. It's just, it's finicky, it's fiddly, and it's not necessarily the most pleasant thing to do. These come together like that, and that works. And there's the bottom part of it. Now, these come out of the way. We'll get to them in a minute. This comes up, and these come around and open this up right here. So there's a delicate dance here between this hinge and this hinge. If y'all can see that, this hinge and this hinge. This hinge has to be able to come up and in, and this hinge has to get out of the way to be able for it to do so. So this and this, open this up, and this will come up, and it will sit right here. This is going to come in and plug in right here. If it's done properly, it is. Get in there. Okay. I don't think I did that right. No, I sure don't. Because these plug in right there. Oh, I know what I did. This has to come in, and this has to come up here on this hinge, like this, which allows it to go in there like this. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Look folks, as I've always said, if you see me struggling with it, there's a very real probability you will too. So just be mindful. There we go, like that. Okay. Now these come up like this, right here. And they will set like that, locking that into place. This will now be able to come up, and these will plug into those holes there if it's done right. Ah, driving me crazy. You know, any other time I could do this, and it wouldn't be this big of a headache. But I'm not going to complain about the fact that it's, you know, at arm's length. We've all heard those complaints, and I get it. We've also heard the complaints where, hey, the camera's on. Yeah, I get that too. I do. I understand that one maybe a little bit better than people who don't do reviews, but at the end of the day, you all don't want to see somebody struggling with it. You want to see it transformed. And that is my goal, to get it transformed for you all. Man alive. There's that. There's that. Stay in place. Go down. Alright. Now these things. They come under like this, and there's a bar and a groove, so you don't have any problems. A bar and a groove. So I'm going to go ahead and take this opportunity to install the stand. The stand can only go in one way, and it clips in right here to these things. So what you do is it just comes in here, and it's not very happy about doing it there, but it will go. Getting it out's a bear, but it wasn't so difficult this time getting it in there. There we go. Just like this. Okay. Now we take this, and it has a tab here that's going to plug in right there. So we just rotate this down, plug that in. These, they extend. They're on a bit of a slider. So push them in if they've come loose, like mine have, and rotate them around so that they come up. Pull that out. Push this up like that and pull it down. Once again, extend. Push that part in. Rotate it around, get it into the proper socket there, rotate this up, push this down, and here is effectively purple potato. There we go. Now, we also have to disconnect that part there right here, so we can get the little pieces. Remember, that one is not in there. There we go. Can you all see in there? It's just a little bitty spot, and by closing it off, that fixes it. Now I wondered if that little thing there, remember me showing you these two little bitty pieces here that I couldn't figure out where they would go? I wondered if they would go there, but they're solid pieces, so I don't think they go there. Alright, I'm going to put this one in. So I've got to open it up enough to get that piece in there. It's not a huge gap, but it's big enough. And then we lock them back down again, just like this. Lord. Pushed in. Pop this back out again. Push that back. And there is Purple Potato in his vehicle mode. He's measuring in at this point at approximately 12 inches, all the way from here to there. I will zoom in here so we can take a look at some of the detail. As you can see, it's not the easiest thing in the world to transform. It's also not the hardest I've ever done. It does have some nice molded detail to it. I do like this section through here quite a bit, and this as well. There are some really nice elements to this. And then there's some that just make me want to just pull my hair out if I had hair. So the other thing this thing can do is these light up, and when you have the the things in here on them, then I guess it lights up really well. I mean, I can see that sort of. It goes in here. I haven't found a place for the cord yet, so I don't know, when it is a little wobbly, but I think that's just because of the way that it works. So we'll do some scale comparisons and then we'll go into final thoughts. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Hey, Shockwave. Do 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 do. That was it. That was the majority of my skit today. I deserve better. I'm a contractee, you know. Ah! Sorry, folks. I gotta tell you, this thing is a real mixed bag for me. There are problems with it. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel like it's going to break, but it also doesn't feel good. And the lack of detail as far as color breakup really is bothering me. Now, I know what they were going for. This is Galvatron's ship that Unicron gave him, and there wasn't a whole lot of detail to it. Having said that, I am the type of person that would prefer to have less cartoon accuracy and more creativity in my figures. This is one of those that I would have liked to have seen a little bit of stylization. Now, I think it's neat that they made it into a Shockwave. I'm all for that. I just don't really think this is a really good Transformer. It's not bad, don't get me wrong. I've had a lot worse in my possession than this thing. But having said that, I've had a lot better too. So that's why this thing's a mixed bag for me. Some of the parts don't tab in together. I always say that it could be user error. I fully grant that. But even with user error, some of this stuff should be intuitive. It's not a difficult transformation, it's just frustrating. I have transformed this thing. This will be the third time that I've done it, and it's not any easier the third time than what it was the first time. So, the playability on this thing, I do like it. I like its presence, I like the way it looks, I enjoy it. I don't have anything else quite like this in my collection. I just wish I enjoyed, messing with it a little bit more. The materials, some of them are in pretty bad shape. There are some severe stress marks in the inner joints here. I don't know if I can show them off real easily, but they're in here where the stress marks are. Let me see. Come on now. Don't be that way. KFC hand. Is it this one? No. It must be this one. It's never what you think it is. Yeah. Can you all see that? That white spot right there? Right there. That is a major stress mark. Major stress mark. And that is a piece of die cast right here that it's running up against. And I can only conclude that it is because of the stress of moving this joint on that die cast that's causing it to have that issue. Now, I like to think I'm not hard on my stuff. I try not to be, because I paid money for this. I think it was 140, 150 bucks, I think, don't quote me, for this thing. The cost for what we got is excessive. And I say that. I bought this based around the strength of their Prime, which was, I think, $70. And it just wasn't the same. That Prime was mostly all metal. This is mostly all plastic. And plastic feels okay, but it's not the strongest plastic I've ever dealt with. I'd almost liken it to Hasbro plastic. Older Hasbro, like Combiner Wars plastic. Not more of the mainline stuff that we're getting today. If this was my first Transformer, would I buy another one? Oh God. I love the aesthetic. I wish there was more detail on it. I can probably pick some stuff out with some paint. I don't need the electronics. I would have happily dropped $20 for the electronics to not have them. And I'm going to have to paint the eye. Yeah, I'd still buy this. I'd still buy more if this was my first one, but I'd be very wary from this point forward. It's not a bad figure, but I don't think it's a figure that's going to last. And the directions are pure crap. Alright, I think that's enough to say about this. This is Tom. Thanks for watching. I'll see you at the next review.
Thank you for watching my Papa's channel. Please subscribe and like. Thank you.
Vitamin John. Operators are standing by.